Iran's foreign minister has already flagged concerns about ceasefire breaches in Iran and Lebanon during a call with Pakistan's army commander. Iranian authorities have reported an enemy attack on an oil refinery on Lavan Island. The National Iranian Oil Refining and Distribution Company says it was hit at 10 a.m. on Wednesday. That's after the ceasefire was announced. Going to bring in Tohid Asadi, who's joining us now from Tehran. So Iran already warning of ceasefire violations.
Yes, indeed. And obviously that is coming from the very fact that we are dealing with an extremely fragile situation. Of course, Iran is saying that it is interested in a ceasefire and halting of the war. But according to what we had from the Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi during his phone call with his Turkish counterpart, the country is basically looking for a complete ending of the war. And also the key point of concern for the country is that the basis for any negotiation down the road in Islamabad is going to be the 10-point proposal by the Iranian side. And on that we know, and it goes without saying, that there are points of difference when it comes to the approaches by the United States, by the Israeli side, and obviously by the Iranian side. And speaking of this ceasefire agreement, we know that so far Tehran has mentioned some cases of actually breach of that. In addition to the point that you mentioned on the attack in Lavan, we know that Iran has also reported the downing of a drone in Fars province in the central areas of the country today. And of course it is interpreting that and as another instance of breach. But still, we've got several lines. First, the Iranian side is continuing the diplomatic engagement, not only with their Pakistani counterparts, but also we know that several phone conversations have been held between Abbas Araghchi and other countries across the region. And of course, we've got this line from the Tasnim news agency, if I'm not mistaken, and they're saying that there is a potentiality for the withdrawal from this ceasefire agreement in case Israeli side decides to continue their strikes. And obviously here there is another point of controversy. The Iranian side, some of the security sources are now telling that Iran says Lebanese front has been set to be and has been agreed to be one of the fronts in which this ceasefire should be implemented, while the other side continues their strikes across the Lebanese territories, and Iran is interpreting that as a breach again. And also we've got this high-ranking Iranian official telling Al Jazeera that Israel is going to be punished for this breach of ceasefire in Lebanon. All in all, first things and last thing here is that we are dealing with a very intricate, meanwhile a very actually fragile situation in which stakes are high. They can even go higher in case of any escalation.
Let's look ahead to this high-stakes meeting that's going to be happening in Islamabad. Who do we know is going to be there, and what do we know is going to be discussed?
Well, Iran is saying that the basis of negotiation is going to be the 10-point proposal by the Iranian side. We know that prior to that, the Americans came out with a 15-point proposal, to which Iran responded to say that it's extremely maximalist, and on that we know that there are controversies. But still, we have to keep in mind, again, due to this fragile nature of the situation, we are not 100% sure that there are going to be talks in Islamabad in case of a continued breach of the ceasefire. But still, what we hear so far from the Iranian side, from the Supreme National Security Council of the country in their statement last night, and obviously from the Iranian president during his phone call with Pakistani leaders, they said that Friday Iran is going to take part. Who is going to lead that delegation is a big question, obviously. We know that earlier we've got some reports about the possibility of Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf, the Speaker of the Parliament, who has been very much vocal since the initiation of the war. But still, there is no confirmation that Abbas Araghchi, the foreign minister, is another option to lead this delegation. And regarding the agenda, we know that the two sides are going to have so many knots to be untangled. There is this cloud of mistrust when it comes to Iran's vantage point. Iran is looking for a sort of verifiable mechanism to make sure that any deal at the end of the day, if reached, could be translated into real action. And added to that is obviously this historical background, and on that Iranians are saying from time to time that we were already involved in a negotiated settlement not once but twice in the past 10 months, as while the country faced a campaign of airstrikes targeting different territories, and now they're trying to find some verifiable ways, not only when it comes to commitments, for instance, related to the sanction relief or nuclear dossier of the country, but also when it comes to making sure that there is going to be no repetition of another war down the road.
That's Tohid Asadi talking to us there from Tehran. Tohid, thank you very much indeed.